And we're live. And it's Wednesday. Thank God, because I am about sick and tired of being sick and tired taking these kids to school at the butt crack of dawn. I'm ready for Saturday morning so I can sleep late. So, jumping on real quick because, of course, having conversations with people just kind of triggers me a little bit. And I was having a conversation with one of our students yesterday, and she just could not see past the nose on her face when it came to what some of her skills are, and I tell people all the time that it's so important, whether it's, your job, your life, your kids, your whatever it is that you do, your hobbies, that you look past what's seemingly obvious and see what's possible. So, there's always going to be things that are right in front of you that anybody can see, but you need to look past that and consider the possibilities, broaden your horizons a little bit. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. So, you could honestly be the cashier at Walmart, but that doesn't define you. It doesn't pigeonhole you into only ever being a Walmart cashier, right? You have people skills, you have communication skills, you have money handling skills, and you probably bag shit like nobody's business. And trust me, I've used the self-checkout, and it's not an easy job. Now, on the devil's advocate, playing devil's advocate, it's not always easy to see the possibilities, and that's kind of where creativity comes in. And I kind of have this theory about creativity. First of all, I think if creativity was, a person, it would probably drink martinis and be pretentious as all get out. And second of all, it's hungry, right? Hungry, kind of like the hunger you get when you've only had a dinky little pomegranate or something for breakfast, which doesn't even count since you basically need the jaws of life to extract anything out of a pomegranate. Yeah, total assholes. But instead of feeding our creativity, we starve it, right? We come into work, we stare at the screen, we complain, we try to concentrate a little harder, like for some reason that's going to work. We take another stab at it. We wait for it to just come to us as if the universe is going to give a flying crap about our skill sets. And people wallow in self-pity and wait for the inspiration. And that's getting you nowhere, quite honestly. So what do you do? Well, if the creativity juices aren't flowing, it's not because they've taken a day off, although I am ready for Saturday. It's because you're not feeding it properly. If you want to understand what feeding your creativity looks like, you need to understand what creativity actually is. So allow me to give you a very non-technical explanation. Creativity kind of happens when two unrelated ideas violently clash up against one another and proceed to do the ugly until they make a pretty baby. Pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure that could be tweetable. Maybe it should be on Amiee and fancy quotes or something. Clash up, maybe. Okay. Anywho, when those two unrelated ideas come together, that's when you get that aha moment. And that's when people start praising creative thinkers. Like, you ever said to somebody, oh, I would never have thought about that. Because you wouldn't have, because you're not doing what they're doing. You're not harnessing that creativity. And so what happens when you're just coming into work every day and you're staring at the screen and hoping that it'll come to you, nothing happens. Nothing. Because inside that brain of yours, the only thing that's swimming around is your existing knowledge, ideas, and thoughts. You cannot be creative without unrelated new ideas. Creativity by definition requires new knowledge, new inspiration, new things to cannonball its way in. And those new unrelated ideas are what creativity feeds on. Which is one of my best recommendations for getting more creative in this area, is to go and experiment with something else, right? Telling you that, I could give you 1,000 different ways to do it, but you need to come up with the best way to cure your creative constipation. I can tell you this morning that, typically I get out of bed and first thing I do, I sprint out, I go to the coffee maker. Usually I'll open my computer to begin some techie work. And if you guessed that, then most days you're probably right. But today I kind of forced myself to resist the urge to do all that. And maybe it was because I was super tired and didn't feel like doing anything. But what did I do instead? Well, I went to YouTube and I watched some videos about improv training. Why? Well, first, I'm completely captivated when it comes to people who can offer clever responses without blinking an eye. But it's also something that I'd like to learn a little bit about myself. And I just needed a change of pace this morning. But here's the cool thing, right? Nobody cares what I did. A few cool things happened. As I'm watching this, like my brain's going 90 to nothing. I guess I'm, multitasking, whatever. But something popped into my head that I've been working on. And it's actually the missing link to complete this big project. And it came bounding out of my brain at the speed of light. Like, it was so weird. And of course, I just jotted it down. Secondly, I immediately felt more creative just by indulging in some type of creative new activity other than my usual jump on the computer and start cranking out digital diamonds, right? And one of the other things is I felt less complacent. Sometimes I think as business owners, as full-time employees, whatever it is that you do, and we all know that it's way too easy to end up doing nothing but exactly what we do for a living. And then slowly and surely your life starts to shrivel up like a prune until you're nothing more than a dumpy ass in a pair of sweatpants, which is my actual outfit right now, by the way. But like I said, creativity, it's a living, breathing feeling, and it'll starve if you only feed it one thing. Just like you would starve if all you ever ate was a pomegranate. And for the record, nobody wants to be the pomegranate guy. So go try something new. Let your creative juices flow and see if you notice a difference. Amy's rant of the day. Bye, everybody.